Whoa, today we have some literal trouser-busting gainer fuel that will make even the harshest Bitcoin critic blow a hole straight through their trousers. Guys, could January 31st really be a spectacular date for Bitcoin, particularly because of what Gugu Guggenheim has done with the SEC, and specifically the first week of February being absolutely nutty? And as well as Bitcoin savage enough to hold its gains above 30,000 US dollars? Let's dive in. Welcome back, you absolute complete savages. I'm your host, Bobby Beandip, not to be confused with my cousin, Bobby Beansprout. Guys, we have so much to be jumping into in this webisode. We have three particular topics that all are kind of coalescing into forming some very, very interesting news for Bitcoin, specifically the first week of February. Guys, we're only days away at this point. And as well, this Sunday, we're going to be getting our monthly and weekly close on the same date. Perhaps one of the most significant closes that Bitcoin has had this entire bull run that has only just begun. So wow, if you guys absolutely love moon boosters and fatty dumpers, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and as well, make sure to turn on that bell notification so you get updated when we post these absolute groundbreaking, critical, time-sensitive, urgent, alert, emergency webisodes. And without any further ado, let's get dumpy. Wow. So guys, it should come as no surprise, I'm sure you've already heard about this, exactly what I woke up to this morning. In fact, by the time I woke up, the pump had already completely, been on a downtrend really here, but Bitcoin is still in a very critical level, and we're going to be taking a look at some of these charts later on in the video. But guys, first I want to talk about this. So something we talked about a little bit yesterday towards the end of that video here, Gugu Guggenheim here saying Bitcoin should be worth 400,000, and then as I'm sure you're already familiar with over the last week, they're basically saying, maybe there is not enough institutional support for Bitcoin to hold 30K, combined with, I believe they had another projection that Bitcoin could go down to about 20K here. Yeah, the CIO expecting Bitcoin to drop to 20K, and this was posted about 8 days ago. So guys, the real question, the real thing I want to dive into here is, first off, when could we see Bitcoin reverse and start more of an uptrend? Because clearly we have been in a downtrend. If we just even go to, you can see it on this chart, but yeah, you can see we were in an uptrend for quite a long time, from about $10,000 to 42,000. But ever since January 9th, we've basically just been in a downtrend, and that's something we've talked about at length in other videos, right? Trading within, whether you want to call it a descending channel bull flag or a bull pennant or a falling wedge here, either way. We're also going to be talking about this potential breakout, because as you can see on this chart, it looks as though a breakout has begun here. But when can we expect Bitcoin to be back on track in terms of its price? So guys, one of the things people have been waiting for, and guys, remember back on December 16th, Gugu Guggenheim was saying, 400,000, basically $500,000 Bitcoin is in the cards. And obviously we saw, just about a month later, they were saying, yeah, we could see it retrace almost exactly a month later, retrace back to 20K. And they even said, there was an article, I believe, that said that, yeah, it could even go, where is it, right here to 30K. But the main thing here is the SEC filing that they have here, which, as you can see here, on January 31st, 2021, the proposed filing will become effective. So again, enabling them to potentially allocate 10% of their assets to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, right? Cryptocurrencies are digital assets designed to act as a medium exchange. The Guggenheim Macro Opportunities Fund may seek investment exposure to Bitcoin indirectly through investing up to 10% of its net asset value in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And guys, many people have been discussing that as maybe one of the reasons Bitcoin's price could have been held down. Also though, we have to factor in the quite obvious, and the obvious here is that Bitcoin ran up $30,000 within a period of like 2.5 months. So obviously it needed to cool down, and just literally looking at these charts, the technical indicators, obviously Bitcoin had to cool down at some point. So even if none of these news stories came out, even if we knew that these big players wanted to get in at Bitcoin as cheap as they possibly could, Bitcoin was due to correct regardless. So again, more so than anything, it probably just lines up with those stories. Okay, even on the weekly, it's not necessarily, it could technically still go lower here. We're still pretty high up here, especially on the RSI and just in general with Bitcoin's price. So you're probably thinking two things right now: mommy milkers and what will happen the first week of February 2021. Well guys, it's no secret as well that the absolute savage himself, Michael Saylor, is going to be hosting a virtual Bitcoin Corporate Strategy Summit the first week of February, designed to help other companies copy MicroStrategy's Bitcoin playbook. And guys, as we know from not very long ago, Michael Saylor also reached out to Elon Musk himself about investing some of his capital into Bitcoin. And no surprise as well, Elon Musk did in fact change his Twitter bio to Bitcoin. Everybody's been talking about this. I'm not going to really cover this, but he also had the tweet, in retrospect, it was inevitable. However you want to try and relate that to Bitcoin, it most likely does have something to do with Bitcoin, right, after he changed that. So as well, MicroStrategy, which now owns over 70,000 Bitcoin, worth just over $2 billion after kicking off its Bitcoin buying spree last summer, is hosting the event on February 3rd and February 4th, with thousands signed up to attend. Michael said here, we're going to have thousands of execs, officers, directors, and advisors of corporations coming together in the first week of February. Guys, this is huge, first of all. He revealed MicroStrategy had bought a further 300 Bitcoin when it dipped down to about 30K not too long ago. But basically what he's saying is they all want to figure out how to plug Bitcoin into their balance sheet or their P&L. We're going to publish our playbook, all of our accounting guidance, all of our legal guidance, all the work we did over the course of months to get ready to do this as a publicly traded company, and we're going to open source it, making it available to everybody with the thought of saving them millions of dollars in weeks or months to make this an easier transition. There's no point in me even stating how insanely positive this will be in the long term for Bitcoin, and as well, it could have an immediate impact additionally. But long term, this is more of a long-term play, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. Guys, I can't even emphasize enough just how bullish this is. At this point, Bitcoin critics have nothing to say negative about this because what were they saying back in 2017? Nobody uses it. Institutions think it's a joke. They think it's a scam, this and that. Guys, all those excuses are off the board now. The gloves have come off, right? While the full list of attendees has not been made public, the event is set to include Bitcoin industry giants, including Binance, Gemini, and Coinbase giants, right? Mike Novogratz from Galaxy Digital. And basically the conference could drive interest in Bitcoin further, and I absolutely don't see any reason how it couldn't, right? The biggest barrier to entry of Bitcoin is the lack of knowledge and the lack of understanding of how to do it. If you give people these tools and you do it in a conference like Michael Saylor has organized here, I just see no reason why at least a small percentage of them at the very least may start allocating some of their capital into Bitcoin. And even if this does not translate into immediate price gains, it will definitely have a positive long-term effect, said Joe DePasquale, the chief executive of San Francisco-based Bitcoin crypto hedge fund BitBull Capital. There's also a possibility that hype around the conference could boost retail sentiment and drive some retail buying. Absolutely. So guys, with all that being said, to me, that indicates that the first week of February could be extremely exciting. And without a doubt, at the very least, we're going to be getting a lot of news, a lot of headlines the first week of February. And again, don't need to get too excited just yet, but guys, this is only a week away, right? We're a single week away from this. So this isn't something we're talking about three to 6 months down the road. This is happening next week. So it's happening fast, and people are interested in getting into, or at least learning about, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency very fast. And I don't think it could come at a better time than what exactly is happening right now. And the bigger question is, how does all of this relate to Elon Musk on Twitter? Wow. So with that being said, let's take a look here. The next 2 days and 3 hours at the time of me recording this until we get this monthly close for Bitcoin is going to be very interesting. We actually had this monthly candle earlier today, right about here, to where it was for the most part a candle, but you see it did get pushed back down even after that Elon Musk news, right, throughout the day, because again, there's still a lot going on with the broader markets, not even just crypto. There's a lot going on still with the stock market, and I fully anticipate for the stock market and everything going on with GME and the hedge funds and Wall Street bets and everything, that's not going to stop either. It's probably going to bubble up and be even more explosive next week. And guys, we also have to realize, not to divert too much, but we also have to realize this, that now that these billionaire hedge funds know that they don't have a complete monopoly on the stock market, for the most part they still do, but they don't have a 100% monopoly, right? Maybe they only have like a 98, 99% monopoly now. Now that they know that, do you think that they're going to start backing down and say, oh, you know what, little guy, you know what, we're going to let you try to make more money? Absolutely not, guys. They're going to go into full-on aggressive mode. They're going to do everything they can, I promise. They're going to go full out trying to save themselves, right? These people are absolute animals. And if you think for a second that these hedge funds want you to make a little bit of money, if you think that they're going to take a step back and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's let the little guy win a little bit, right? Absolutely not. They're going to go full force and try to do what they're doing. They're going to double down on what they're doing, right? They're going to try and go full force and make this even more painful for the retail investors than ever before. So again, this is just my thought here, but I think now is the worst time to back down, right? This is just the beginning. What was exposed this last week with Wall Street, with these hedge funds, which are most likely, again, we don't know this just yet, but they're most likely committing a very large amount of crimes, and the SEC will be looking into that. But yeah, this has just started. So this is only the beginning of that whole battle on Wall Street. And guys, with that being said, Bitcoin did initiate basically a straight 12-hour dumpage after touching right about 38,500 US dollars. Going as high as about, 38,664 here on Coinbase. But we're currently actually finding support at our fib level here, right of about the 0.382, which is right underneath the crunch zone. The crunch zone is basically between 35,500 and 34,500. We're basically exactly right there right now. So we're in the critical crunch zone. So I will be personally bullish in the short term if we can hold this level of between 34 and 35, or 34.5 and 35.5, over the next 2 days. Optimally, that would be extremely bullish, I think. If we just basically hold in this zone for the next 2 days, that would be extremely bullish, because then that monthly close would actually be pretty decent. It would not be this horrible bearish candle people are really scared of, which even if we do get that bearish candle, guys, it doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin's about to be doomed at all. And yeah, for the most part, it basically also just means holding above some of our key lines that we have on some of these longer term charts. But specifically, we have to stay above the 50-day moving average. I mean, obviously, that's not even a question. That's already right around 30,000, a little under 30,000 US dollars. But guys, most importantly, what we want to see is Bitcoin get a daily close above the 21-day, which earlier today we were significantly above it. But as you can see, that's exactly where we're facing that resistance right now. We basically got pushed right back down to this 21-day moving average. So again, this is going to be the big thing to watch over the next 2 days. These next 2 days are some of the most critical days for Bitcoin's price that have occurred on these charts in the past 3 months. Actually, I would argue these next 2 days are the most critical 2 days for Bitcoin's price since we broke all-time highs, and actually even before that. So yeah, basically getting a close above 35,000 would be really good, but for the most part, we want to hold above this 21-day moving average. Ethereum, guys, still waiting for a breakout. This could essentially go on for another 2 or 3 weeks. But I'm actually looking as well, very nice opportunity. We could see this actually pump during the first week of February when we're having all of those meetings, because I don't think people are only going to be bullish and only going to be talking about Bitcoin at these virtual conferences. I think it's going to also be involving Ethereum as well, right? Ethereum and Bitcoin together. And as well, as we said, this battle is still raging. Currently, the DXY is holding on this 50-day moving average, but it has faced some resistance, right? If we take a zoom back here, you can see this is, we're still in the battle zone for the DXY. Ultimately, if this continues to go lower and heads down towards this $88 target, absolute blast off for Bitcoin. But we really have to wait and see how this battle goes on, because as we talked about last week and Monday, the first day of this week, we said this week was going to be crazy for the DXY, and it really has been. It's been a battle between the 21 and 50-day moving average. Every single day we've had a big battle on one of these two moving averages, but for the most part, actually both every single day. And as well, guys, how will what's going on with GME, with what's going on with the hedge funds and Wall Street bets, how will that affect Bitcoin? Well, we already saw what happened with Dogecoin. We're not going to talk about this too much, but obviously there was some massive pumpage with Doge. I believe it went up to like 8 or 9 pennies or 8 or 9 cents or something like that, which is absolutely wild. It went up like, I believe it went up almost like 1,000% gains. Absolutely wild. So again, if we start getting more people exposed into this ecosystem, the better, the more the better. However, I personally would hope that they would research and kind of invest more into Bitcoin and Ethereum rather than the meme coin Dogecoin, which again, Dogecoin is a very attractive coin for people that have no knowledge of cryptocurrency, because it has a dog or a Doge on the coin, which is again very attractive for people. Who doesn't like a Doge? But at the same time, there are better technologies out there, and ideally we would want people to be more interested in the safer, better, more reliable technologies like Bitcoin, like Ethereum. Also, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications if you're new. As well, we do have a $620 Bybit deposit bonus available on Bybit, limited time only, using our link below. Remember, trading is risky, so only do it if you have experience and you want to support the channel.